Hey ladies, just a quick video from me. I just like what Kim's post was on having 10 out of 10 days for a few days in a row. And she said this is how she felt at the end of Genesis, and then after 2 weeks she kind of falls back off. So what are the gaps, and how do we close those gaps to make this a long-term sustainable thing? And that's what we are all here for, right? We want that long-term success. As much as I love working with all of you, you don't want to be working with me forever, right? And I don't expect that. I do want you guys to succeed long-term. So what are those gaps, and how can we get there? So the first thing, this is based on experience working with almost 350 people, 360 people. You have to really dig down and ask yourself, what is your why? Why are you here? Why do you want to change? What is wrong with staying the same? Why don't you just stay the same? What's the repercussions of staying the same? And I always give those examples with the extreme changes that happen to people, right? Rob, DJ Duck, I always use him as a prime example because he almost died. So his why was simply just to be alive. So it doesn't matter what happened going forward from there. All it was is he just wants to improve and live. So even though he had days that were off, even though nothing was always perfect, you can't expect that, obviously, his why was so huge that he would just pick himself up and keep going. Because if he stayed in this negative state, he knows what's waiting for him, his deathbed. So always reevaluate your why. I mean, fitting in a dress and a six-pack, slim waist is all good and all, right? It's a good goal, but it's not enough. You have to dig down deep, dig down past that superficial stuff of looks and everything. Why do you want to change? Is it there to be long-term for your kids, or you want to be healthy because you know that maybe you're predisposed to family disease, so you want to be there healthy for as long as you can? I don't know what it is. You have to dig down deep and find out what is your why. All right, that's number one, because that's what's going to keep you going beyond this program, 6 months, whatever, a year. Even if times are tough, you can always be able to fall back on that. The second thing, obviously, is setting up your environment for success. It sounds like a broken record, but this is so important, guys. Because when things are working, everything is perfect, and that's like what front runners are. People who, when things are good, they're gonna keep going and be successful, right? Front runners. But how when times are tough? What are you gonna do when times are tough? And we're only human. We are only human, so we are gonna use the path of least resistance, or we're always looking for the pursuit of pleasure and avoidance of pain. And sometimes that pleasure comes from foods that aren't always going to work for us, and can easily, once we have it, will set us in this negative cycle. And you're going to feel bad about it, then you're just going to keep going because you're going to say, fuck it, I already fucked up, I'm just going to keep going and going and going. So you have to set up your environment for success. You got to reduce, replace, or eliminate those things that aren't going to work for you. And that's why I'm having you guys do these tasks. They're not for fun and whatever. It's really tangible things that you can do. Make these tasks, these lists, and say, okay, what is in my A list that's really working for me? How can I keep buying that and making that part of my meals and plans? And then what's on my B list, the things that I don't really enjoy, but I know they're good for me. How can I start incorporating them? That was me with spinach. Believe it or not, I never used to eat any greens. But slowly and surely, I kept adding them in, and they became my A list, and I love it. Okay, so you have to start doing these things. And of course, that D list, the stuff that does not work. Why do you have it in your house if you know that's going to set you off? Don't have it in there. Again, it's not about restriction, because when you're out of your house and you go to a party, you can have those things that might not necessarily be great for you, but it's only once in a while. But if it's in your face every single day, then it doesn't matter if you're doing Mighty Transformation, Tony Robbins, all these motivational things. It doesn't matter, because you're going to succumb to that environment. So you have to do your absolute best to fix that and change that, and have those conversations with people you live with, who might be bringing these stuff into your house, right? Just think if you have kids who have an anaphylactic challenge and they're allergic to peanuts. Are you going to bring peanuts into the house? No. Why? Because they could die and suffocate. So why have it in your house? The same thing with foods. Might sound trivial, but it's not, because these are the things that can really set you off and put you in that negative cycle. So set your environment up for success. Okay, so those are the two main things, right? Find out what's your why, set up your environment for success, and then do those tasks, those tangible tasks. Make that list, go prioritize, do the grocery, and you see how they all work together synergistically. Okay guys, so those are just two simple things, but they make a huge monumental impact on how you can do this long term. Okay, so set up your environment, make sure that's solid, keep buying those things that work for you, eliminate, reduce, replace those things that don't. Find out what your why is, write it down, hone in on it, and internalize it, and make sure you really are here for the right reasons and why you want to change. And if things don't go right with your environment set up for success, with the strong why, you'll be able to pick yourself up and keep going. Okay, have a great Tuesday. Wishing you well, stay safe, stay healthy. Let me know if you have any questions.